And Flop got, I think, a 2-day suspension for that as a cadet, and they were going to fire him over that. So punishments are going to happen. I think in terms of the RP that happened, this was very I think
I can say Alexander Bones, or
I think this was a very fair punishment. So
I'm catching.
I love Remington. She's a great character, and her role play is phenomenal, right? But again, to put into line, Davenport's been suspended, Flop's been suspended. I don't know many other. I don't focus on suspensions because I don't give a shit about them, because at the end of the day they don't mean much. But yeah. Now look, Casterman loves Flop. Even when Casterman yelled at Flop, he was still just doing a job. You know what I mean? So it's like, granted, in that situation, I was a little egged on from all that, because I was like, what the fuck? I was just saying that I don't have what you're asking me to do. But yeah. She brings a lot of human touch to interactions. Oh my god, Remington, in terms of emotions, Remington, like, fucking nails it out of the park. From a character stance, phenomenal. Love Remington, right? But I'm actually glad that she brought up the whole gun thing, though. That genuinely surprised me. Shit. What am I doing? I have to call Luca. Fuck.
Hey, brother. What?
Hey, can I call you right back? Actually, I'm sorry.
What the fuck? You called me and tell me, can I call you right back?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I love you. Bye.
The fuck? Dispatch 220 showed me 10-8. I'm out in the hills, just rolled up to a abandoned Mercedes AMG, and I got a G-Wagon down from me. It looks like someone hunting. I'm gonna be doing a license check. They don't see me.
Be advised, a red and green Swift just landed across from Hayes on a build, or on the rooftop of a building.
Who is that? We're gonna watch for a minute. I'm kind of curious. Wonder what they're doing. They're just hunting. Let me see if this matches Anna. Suspenders and everything. Let's see. There's Sockmanian. Thank you so much for the 10 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Can we get some hearts in chat? Oh my god. Let's see. What we got for charges. Thank you so much for the 10 months. I really appreciate it. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. You never done anything bad outside of that, you know. Actually, does she have a weapons license? She has a hunting and weapons license. Okay. Dude, I gotta get my fucking... Oh, I hate this. I gotta get my other camera back. This shit's killing me. Because I can't take shots from...
1376 the S plus.
Everybody called out for air. Yeah.
Negative. I think everybody's still on channel 1 dealing with it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Do we want to wait here though?
If nobody else grabs it, I'm getting my car fixed
Actually,
up.
fuck it. We have to talk to
and
Luca. Let's just speed this up.
Hell yeah.
Daisy's on ground. I don't want it. It's between you and Bancroft.
I would have taken it, but we're already here. There's a white and colored calico black light underglow parked out front. Also a double T with the purple fluorescent.
Can we back it up to the
Gauntlet
top?
out.
We're
Yes,
just kind of
yeah.
North Rockford Drive. Believe this is Neon Tigers based on the person in calico.
Currently going northbound Tongwa.
Hello, how we doing?
It's 18 and 80 with a red
Good,
colour.
good.
So it's Gauntlet
Good.
northbound Tongwa.
I'm just up here doing some quick
Traffic
license
shift,
checks.
To continuing north Tongwa.
All right, all
Passing
right.
the fishmonger.
Sorry about that. Just had to.
Approaching right 68.
It's all good. It was a good shot.
Thank you.
Continuing north.
All right, let's see here. License.
57 route. Firm parallel to the binary. 50.
You both hunting today, or is it just gonna be
normal,
you?
Northbound Tongwa, just approaching
Okay.
binary.
Could you share that one more time for me?
Right
Yes, there
eastbound
you go.
Computer Road.
Also, another shot coming up.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna.
Left northbound, approaching right
Yeah, you're all good,
68.
Anna. You guys keeping everything in
Right
your
eastbound
trunk?
right 68. Passing
Oh, yeah.
the
Go ahead,
exit.
go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
that's not true.
When
The
we
trunk,
arrived on
we have a
scene,
car
there
there.
was a silent
There's also
shot
a
that was
pelts in
fired
there, and then
towards
there's
us.
also
Yeah,
pelts in a bush
so
down there because
if
we have
don't
so many
happen, stay
pelts.
silent,
I actually, I was next to your car when you were up here shooting
Continuing
before, and you didn't even
68.
notice me.
Also be advised there was a white in color
Funny enough.
Okay, yeah.
and a black
We
Mercedes.
can unlock the
Male
car too if you
occupant,
want to check that one as
eastbound
well.
right 68.
Nah, I think you guys are
Approaching
good.
right 68
Don't worry about it.
approach and
You're
turn
all
to
good.
All right.
I
All right,
appreciate
perfect.
it. Thank you so much.
Continuing right
Thank you.
68
Good luck with the
eastbound.
hunt.
Approaching Joshua. Continuing east right 68, approaching Harmony
right.
Repairs.
Yeah. I figured with both cars, I figured Anna was there and was the one hunting, so we're good.
Approaching Harmony Repairs eastbound right 68.
Okay, let's call Luca back. I feel bad.
Passing Harmony Repairs eastbound right 68.
Are you okay? Like mentally? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
I have to call you back. Sorry. I'm
Again?
Kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my god. I honestly, Flop. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to sleep.
What the fuck?
I'll talk to you guys later.
Jesus Christ. No, so I was dealing with something. I unfortunately had to be a part of something else involving another officer, and then
Again?
yeah, and yeah, my days here are turning into just command light at this point. I'm the undersergeant.
Oh, I like that. That should be a rank.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
undersergeant. Why is that not a rank?
I don't fucking know. I'm just undersergeant Flop. I might ask Tess if we can make that a rank.
They should have sergeant and master sergeant. And the sergeant is like the like what you're doing, like dealing with the paperwork and the complaints and the our side in-house stuff. And then like the staff sergeant or master sergeant whatever should be like out on the street, like doing like the heavy hitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Anyway, that's
Well, I will say this. There's a new structure that someone is looking to push in the PD, and I'm actually kind of a fan of it.
don't get my hopes up.
Well, hear me out. I'm gonna explain it to you because it sounds bad, but just let me cook, right? The idea of it is that, you know, as you get promoted, you know, there's tools that are given to you or tools that you have access to as you go up in promotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
What Stubble is looking to do is burn the middleman, get rid of seniors. Everybody who's a senior gets pushed to corporal. Corporal comes back, senior's gone, but what senior is
Oh,
now...
you're saying
so,
the C word.
I
Oh,
know,
the
hold on,
C word.
Hold on.
Ah,
So,
Bob, not
but-
the C word.
Hear me out. The new command structure, though, I actually agree with him on this. So right now, 7%, the actual math on it is 7% of command makes up the entirety of the UPD. The other 92% of the PD is like officers and deputies.
God, this
So-
sounds like an Occupy Mission Row protest going on. What? Are you serious? This is very bad in inequity.
It's
Is that right?
it's bad on paper. So
Yeah.
what he's looking to do though is bring back corporal, get rid of senior as like a rank that like you go to so like an officer, instead of going to a senior, an officer could come to a corporal. But what senior is now, instead of you just being, let's say you don't want any rank in the PD, you're just here to be a cop, you're here to show up, people can now get recognition. So instead of it just being like, you know, you go from officer to nothing, it would be you go from officer to like senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, and it's based on your time here in the PD. So you will then get recognition with a new set of stripes to show your time and efforts within the police department. But there is no like association with having responsibility that, like, let's say a corporal would do. So what a corporal would be is what, you know, the senior is now. So we would actually be minimizing what the command structure looks like while also giving recognition to people who just, you know, who have showed their time and efforts here in the PD.
Yeah. There's another jurisdiction. I'll just tell you, it down in Texas that if you serve a certain amount of time, you, like, for example, if you work for a sheriff's office, you would become what they call a master deputy, and it's based solely upon good faith service, meaning you haven't had, like, you know, any major disciplinary actions or anything against you. But it's essentially, if you do, like, I want to say it's like 20 years, you that's your rank, like you're a master deputy, and it's time dependent. It doesn't give anyone really any sort of like
It's more
pull.
recognition.
You can't. Yeah, but if there's a master deputy on the scene and you're like a cadet, you better not fucking talk back to that person. You know what I mean? Like you
absolutely.
You'd rather talk
God.
back to an actual command member than the master deputy. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's that kind of thing. What's wrong now? Oh no.
Oh God, I'm getting in trouble.
No. All right. Well, when do you want to have this meeting? And is
I
Etta
was
still
gonna have
around?
it just now. Yes. I need to.
Okay.
Let me see what's going on with Bison. I'll call you back. Okay. I'm so sorry. What the fuck's going on? Oh no. What'd I do, man?
Hey, I got this report about Dan Faley.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
No, just super quick. Maddie and I already talked to Madison and I already talked to.
I'm right here. Hold on.
Okay, that was easy. Hey,
What's
we
up?
just talked to. Can you jump? You're like in the doorway. There you go.
Awesome.
Madison and I just talked to Dan Faley and who's the other one? Brixton. About the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Both said that it was not their scene and they did not press the warrant.
So does the warrant just appear out of fucking nowhere?
Well, they don't know who clicked the warrant. They don't know who clicked the warrant button.
Here's my thing. Here's my fucking thing. Here's the gripe
Okay.
I'm having with that whole thing. Is that I had to do all of the fucking legwork on that, right? Which, granted, I wouldn't care, but it wasn't even my problem to begin with. The issue that I have is that regardless of what the involvement was with whoever pushed the warrant, Dan turned around and told me that he had no involvement on that scene and was there to assist with K9. Yet when I emailed him and told him, I need PC, I'm letting a serial killer walk out of the police department right now, you gotta give me something, he sends me photos of the scene and his GSR test. So for a guy that apparently had involvement in the scene, didn't provide any of that evidence in the initial warrant when it was pushed, we had no PC at the time. The question is, why was that not at all submitted? And when you look in the evidence locker, all that evidence was just sitting there. So when I got those photos, I was able to input it in the report. That shit just threw me up a wall. I couldn't.
When we asked Dan, he said that he put all the evidence in the report. He said that he put like the casings and blood and everything like that in the report.
That's insane. Because if you look at the photo, do you see the photo in the that top piece? I'm assuming Maddie sent you my monologue.
Yeah, I said the whole thing that Bison.
Holy shit! I did not see that. Okay,
Wait, you didn't see the fucking Bison?
No, well, my shit's super zoomed in. I didn't know it included that.
No, it's all good. I took a photo of the evidence locker at the time of what that report looked like. There were 2 civilian statements and photos of his possessions, and that was it. And the 911 call. But that report had no statements.
When I talked to him, I basically expressed like my main problem was that one, there was no evidence, and two, there was no statements. But on top of that, that there was apparently the guy was in ICU for 2 days, and there was no reason that a report should not be finished within 2 days.
Yeah.
Especially if they go into ICU, because that means that if they're not awake and they need to be released from ICU, somebody has to serve that warrant.
Yeah.
And they kind of both understood that. I am actually really confused as to why Dan said there was evidence put in here and there's no evidence, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. When I asked him too, he claimed that there was a cadet or someone else there that he apparently said, "Are you good? Do you need help?" And he's like, "No." And I asked him, I'm like, "Well, why did you have photos of the scene and not submitted?" He goes, "Well, because that person said that there was." I said, "Okay, what did this cadet look like?" "I don't know. I'm not a shift 3 cop." "Okay, what department?" "I don't know. I don't remember." "Okay, facial, anything?" "No, I don't know." And I'm like, "Dan, how is it possible that you took photos of the scene and you were on scene but have no recollection of the fucking scene?" I kind of got like blunt with him for a minute. I'm like, this does not make sense. I said, "And Dan, the reason I'm coming to you is because I'm not one to go behind your back. I'll be blunt with you. If I think you did something wrong, I'll say it to you." I said, "The problem here is that I had to let a serial killer walk for 10 minutes before calling him back to the fucking PD because we had no legal reason to hold this guy if there's an untapped warrant and no PC to hold him or charge him. If we had a reason to hold him, it was because we had the PC." I said, "And I had to email you for photos of the scene." And out of Leisha's statement, Brixton's statement, and Dan's statement, the only one who actually, I asked Leisha individually, I said, "Who was all on scene?" And she said, briefly, it was me, and then it was Brixton and Dan. And when I asked Brixton, who was on scene on a separate occasion before I spoke to Leisha, he said it was me, Leisha, and Dan. And when I asked Dan, Dan said, "I don't know, it was me, it was the officers there, and some kind of cadet. I don't know. I don't even know if he was a cadet." I'm like, okay, this is not adding up, though. You have photos of the scene. You have a GSR test that's positive. None of this was inputted in the report. The only reason it's in the report now is because I had to process this guy, and I was only able to add it after I got the photos. And apparently there's this ghost of a cadet now. The ghost of cadets past. It's just, it didn't add up. It didn't make sense. And he even said to me, he said, "Yeah, that's crazy. You should probably tell command about it." So my consensus is that Dan gave me the workaround on a statement that made no fucking sense. And then when I confronted him about the fact that he put photos in and why he didn't, his claim was that someone else did it already. I just took photos too. I said, "Okay, Dan." I didn't want to fight it because I figured at this point, fuck it. You know what, Dan? You're right. I'm gonna pass it to command. But at this point, your story doesn't make any fucking sense.
Can I just say that you angry is actually pretty funny?
It's kind of funny. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I
lie.
don't see you angry very often, Flop. This is great.
I don't like, you're not like angry, but like I can
Yeah.
tell like you're pissed,
Yeah.
and like it's kind of like the way you were like, "I do not fucking know
Yeah.
the scene," and I was like, "Oh, I kind of cracked up pretty hard at that one. I'm not gonna lie." You're like, "You took pictures of the scene, but how do you not fucking know the scene?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Listen. There's very few times that I actually put my foot down. I will put my foot down when it comes to anything like senior related. If someone comes to me with a problem, I'll put my foot down. But when it comes to a bullshit warrant that should never have been pushed, that apparently magically was checked off and promoted to an incident, and in Brixton's statement claimed Dan called him and told him that he promoted it to an incident, which leads me to believe that he had some reason to promote it. And when I asked him
hang
about
on,
that,
pause.
Oh,
Prime Day just opened. Give me a second.
oh shit! Wait, hold up. Let me cook.
wait, what do we cook?
Oh fuck! Hold on. Wait.
Prime Day.
A steering wheel with the whole set 50% off. Don't mind if I do.
Hang on. What? Send me the link to that. Hang on. Send me the link to that.
Oh, okay.
Check that shit out, dude. Holy crap. It's perforated with a leather wrapped steering wheel. Like the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh shit. Maybe I might have to pick that up too.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my
Holy
fucking
shit.
God.
I've always wanted one of those. Oh, hold up. Watches are on sale too. We're
I want
fucked.
an F1 wheel. Oh, watches? Oh no, I actually started collecting those recently.
Wait, did you?
Fuck.
Oh, I did too. Oh god.
Expensive fucking hobby.
I know. Oh,
I only collect watches that are from movies or video games though. Like my daily
Oh,
wear is
God.
the watch that Dean Winchester wears in Supernatural, and my fancy wear is the watch that Drake fucking what's his last name? I can't remember. Drake. Tim Drake. Not Tim Drake. Fucking his last name's Drake. Nathan Drake wears in Uncharted.
That is wait, actually, I need that watch.
It's actually really fucking nice. I'm not gonna lie.
I just bought the Starfield Collector's Edition just because it came with the Starfield watch.
Oh my god.
I don't want to admit how much that was. That was a really bad purchase. How did we go to the from? Oh no. Oh no.
Fuck, that's a slick watch though. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a pretty nice watch.
It's kind of sick, and it links to the game too, so it actually tells you like your O2 monitor and stuff when you're in space. I'm not gonna lie. I just realized that at least 2 of us in this room definitely have ADHD.
Oh, I 100% do. 100%. All right. Okay. Back to it, and then I'll go
Sorry.
fucking shop for watch later.
Look up
So-
the Star Wars collection from Seiko, by the way. They're expensive, worth it. Sorry. There's a Darth Maul one that I need in my collection.
Wait, from who?
Seiko, Seiko. They're a Japanese brand. They're a quality brand, but they do Star Wars watches and they're fucking cool. The Stormtrooper one, to die for.
Holy shit! They actually got like, oh my god.
Oh, dude, expensive hobby. Good luck. I'm literally holding my Seiko right now, as you can clearly see in my hand.
Yeah, I clearly can see it, you know. Thank God I don't collect watches. That's just expensive.
We're never
Oh, they
gonna...
got a gold one. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. And they're nice watches. They're like no bullshit watches. They're the Toyota brand of like reliability in the watch world. Whereas like the Grand Seikos are Lexus, but the cheapest like Grand Seiko is ballpark 5 to 10 grand for the cheapest. Yeah. So I stick with just Seiko because that's well within a budget that I could work with.
Let me just pull out $5 grand out of my ass real quick.
Yeah, hold up. I
Yeah,
know.
What the fuck? This Star Wars Darth Vader watch is $2,124.
Yeah, dude, some of them are expensive, but like I saw one of the Darth Maul ones on eBay used, like barely used, like with the collector's box and everything for like $300. And I'm just saying, that's a cool as fuck watch to own. It was a collector's edition, limited time. It's kind of cool though. Some Seikos are really expensive.
All right. Okay. We'll
Let's lock it in. Lock it in.
lock it in. Okay, so Madison, what do you want to do? Lock it in,
I don't know,
Madison.
because someone clicked the fucking button, man.
Well,
And no one wants to own up to the fucking button.
The other thing too, though, that I want to make note, this was apparent, and the reason why Brixton, and so I actually feel for Leisha. She was barely there on scene apparently, and she kind of explained her side. She was there for all of a couple minutes. I still told her that, you know, and the same thing I told Brixton, we still got to make sure that we're getting our statements in regardless. My concern is why this was promoted from an investigative to an incident, and why there was a warrant push before the report was done. So I actually understand sort of where Leisha came from. I kind of understand where Brixton came from. When I talked to Dan, everything that Brixton and Leisha said made a lot more sense, because when I was done with him, I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? It didn't make sense. His story didn't line up. There was another officer there who apparently he doesn't even know if he was a cadet or not. Apparently it's the ghost of cadets past, and I don't know. All I know,
And no other officer remembers that cadet being on scene, bar Dan.
yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, Dan's gonna, you know, claim confusion if anything's pushed at this point. The reason why it got brought up beyond my level was because I should have had no hand in finishing that report, and no hand in having to talk to each individual officer to put a statement in, and no hand in actually doing evidence. None of that should have been my responsibility, and no one's taking accountability for it. And as far as I'm concerned, that was enough for me to say, fuck it. You know what, Dan? You're right. Let's push it to command. So I'm gonna speak my shit.
No, I definitely think you should, because you shouldn't be left to do with something that you had no fucking involvement with and you had to pick up the pieces is extremely fucking unfair.
Yeah.
And the fact no one wants to claim ownership for fucking ticking the button is a fucking coward. I'm just gonna say it how it
Yeah.
is, dog. Like,
Listen, it was unchecked, and that's fine. It was just when push came to shove, and now I have this guy. The problem is that they couldn't keep him in the ICU, and I wasn't going to tell the doctors to hold him like a fucking, you know, like he's in jail. He's cleared from the ICU. We can't let him be held. I brought him to MRPD in cuffs to confirm that we absolutely had no PC. Once I determined that via my investigation with the way that the report looked, I had to let him go. We had no legal reason to actually hold this guy. And 10 minutes after is when I finally got everything. I will make note too, in case you care. When I emailed Dan and said I need a statement or something.
I don't.
Okay. Would you like?
I'm just kidding. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good. You're good.
that's fucked up, Vice.
You're gonna love this statement though. Hold on. I said we have no PC in the report, and we have no photos of the scene. We have no statements. And he said there's plenty of PC, but the other fucking cops did nothing. And then he said, "Here's my statement. That dude kidnapped and killed her. We have evidence." And then he said, "Gun on his person matches projectiles and cases. Give him death." Well, if he knows all that, why wasn't it in the report? And if he knows all that, and we have all the PC to do it, why did he claim confusion when I confronted him about it? I'm gonna tell you how it sounds. It sounds like Dan knows exactly what happened. He just doesn't want to get in trouble for it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be blunt about that. At this point, based on what he sent me in terms of the photos of the scene in the GSR test, and the fact that he's claiming that he knows we have the PC to arrest this guy and we have all the evidence, the fact that when I confronted him face to face about it, he was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know."
All right. You know what? As deputized sergeant in the room, I'm deputizing you to strike Dan.
Okay.
how many strikes do you want to give Dan? I mean, let's be honest.
I fucking.
No hesitation. No flop.
I mean, listen. At this point, I'm looking for a reason as to why Dan shouldn't get strike points. Because
I mean,
we're good.
Like, quite literally, if we have two officers that, you know, are very, you know, I mean, they're new, but one's a detective, the other one they're both tenured. And they're not claiming there's anyone on scene bar Dan and them two, and you have Dan pulling out a willy-nilly cadet, and his story changing every time we fucking talk to him. It's a clear indication that, you know, he had everything, didn't put it in the report, and the original warrant, when he said there was evidence in the report and there's nothing, it seems like he's going in circles, and as you say, it kind of seems like he's almost deflecting, essentially, not confronting his problem.
I mean, I'll make it easy. I'll make it super easy. I had to do pretty much this whole report. If you want my senior recommendation for strikes, my recommendation is this: probably anywhere between 10 and 15 strikes. If we are all in agreement here that something is not adding up with Dan's statement, if he had all of the evidence and photos, but none of it was actually added to the report when the warrant was pushed, I think that's enough to say that that's a big reason why honestly, the way I see it is that warrant could have stayed if those were in the report. If I had those photos, I wouldn't have had to let this guy walk, and I could have just charged him and moved on. But without that
what if
evidence,
he says somebody saved over his evidence?
He's probably gonna say that. And honestly, I don't care.
You're gonna call him out, Flop?
I mean, I fucking might.
I want you to flop. I want you to just let it.
I might have to.
I think we should let you handle this, to be honest.
I mean,
yeah, I'll just do the paperwork.
Listen, I mean, are we at least in agreement in some degree here that something is not adding up, and that at least to some point, if Dan had the evidence and it not being in the report, that is some kind of concern if the warrant was pushed?
I mean, you got the evidence from Dan and was able to correlate the story, right?
Absolutely.
And was able to push charges. I mean, I think that tells you your answer right there.
The photos of his possessions is one thing, but we didn't have photos of the scene, the casings that he claimed that we had on scene, which he said to me via email that we had. And the other thing I didn't even realize that Dan got was a GSR test. which again, casings on scene, GSR test. Okay, great. Guy has possession of a firearm. Now I have the PC to charge this guy. The only thing that I didn't do in that whole report was alter the charges in any way, shape, or form, because at that point, that was no longer my problem. My job was just to get this guy charged, and if all it took was to make sure that this guy, if we had the PC to charge him, I was gonna send him. I wasn't gonna alter someone else's warrant in that regard. Should I have at that point? Probably, but I wasn't on scene. I didn't have statements at the time. All I had was the evidence, so I was just gonna push the charges and deal with it after, because I really didn't have another choice. I wasn't gonna let a doctor killer walk for any more than the amount of time that he unfortunately did. So that's kind of where I'm at.
All right, Flop, go
Question
and
is
calm
10 or
down.
15.
Sure. Am I?
Yeah, Flop, this is your thing. I'm just
Alright.
putting it in the system to write it down on paper. But 10 or 15, what are we doing?
That's your call. I'm fine with either. You just say the word.
It's a pretty major fuck up. He should know better. I think 15, because you know, involved in the whole restructure, we're a lot stricter than we used to be. So things like this
I
shouldn't
think a
happen.
72-hour suspension.
Okay, I think that's if. Okay.
He didn't answer.
Why you being
Huh.
why you being a wuss, man?
Being a wuss. He went the fucking voicemail.
Not you,
Oh.
him, or, Madison.
Well, I don't know if a 72 suspension is really called for the,
Alright,
you
fine.
know. If
Make it
we,
a week.
Ooh.
Bison, no. Look,
Oh,
I'll take
shit.
his strike
You know,
plates,
just
okay?
go and fire him.
No, because there's cops that are still employed that should not be employed that have done a lot worse things than Dan have.
Honestly, I mean, suspension wise, I don't think a suspension is necessarily needed. If he's gonna claim that he didn't know about the warrant, sure, but regardless, he needs to at least be aware that the fact that he had those photos and that evidence, and the fact that it was not in the report, is what let this guy walk. Because I got lucky as fuck that guy decided to come back to serve his warrant. He could have just stayed away, and that would have been the end of it. I would have had to have now had a bigger problem on my hands to have to hunt this asshole down after the fact. So
Yeah, no, I think 15 is a pretty suitable number. It's on the higher end, but it's a pretty major fuck up since we had everything, and because an officer didn't do their job, the basics of doing your job, it caused another officer having to pick up the slack. So it's not fair.
I am gonna ask a question. Personally, I mean this. I'm not even like picking sides or a bias on this. I'm being as neutral as I can here. I feel like Leash's involvement being as minimal as it was, I don't feel like she had much involvement in the reasoning for why it got to this point. Granted, a statement still would have been nice. She was still within like 48 hours. Brixton probably should have had a statement in. He had more involvement, even if he was an assisting officer and let's say Dan did everything. Still probably should have had a statement, but he was still within the 48 hours. I think the problem I have here primarily is the fact that without that evidence in the report whatsoever, we had no reason to have a warrant out for this guy. And the fact that
Yeah,
Dan,
that button should not be ticked.
yeah, and regardless of who pressed the warrant, Dan even emailed me when I was trying to figure out the evidence that he's aware that we had enough PC and that this guy killed someone and that we had plenty of PC. He even said that we have casings, projectiles, everything. But then I sent him a photo of the empty report, the one that you guys are looking at there. And I was flat out and I said, you know, here it is. There's nothing here, Dan. And he immediately shifted to blaming the other cops, which I don't understand. So
I mean, I think I hate when people shift the blame. I think if they, you know, they're a cop, they should own up to their fucking mistakes or get the fuck out of my PD.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that Dan's not taking accountability, but his story does not line up, and I'm gonna tell him that. Cause I even if he has a problem with it, the fact that it started with, we have all the PC. Here's my statement. He killed people, so he knows that this guy did something. He's aware that there were casings on scene. He's aware of all the evidence that was on scene, but none of it was in the report. Tells me that even if he didn't check that warrant, he had the evidence, he had the photos, and he had all the reason for us to not let this guy walk.
Oh yeah, and it's not just like a regular fucking Joe, right? Like this is some serious fucking shit. Like it's not.
I'm gonna be honest, and I'll be blunt. The reason why I needed that report a little bit better was because Harvey is looking into this guy for a potentially bigger case via MCU, and he wanted to extend the warrant. And the reason why this started was because he came to me and said, "Hey, Flop, I want to extend this warrant, but I don't think a judge would approve this." That's when I called you, Madison, because even I looked at it and I'm like, "Holy shit, a judge is gonna ream out whoever made this warrant."
Oh yeah, they're.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%. Big issues. So.
Yeah. But that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Speak your shit, Flop.
Oh, I'm doing it. Listen, I gotta. This has been my life the last like 3 days. Honestly, it's kind of enjoyable.
Is it?
I get to. I mean, listen, it's kind of nice to get the tea, but it's also nice to kind of look into things and kind of break them down. I kind of like pulling everyone aside and asking what the fuck happened here. And if I feel like it needs to go anywhere higher than senior, then I am. And honestly, when after the conversation with Dan and he said, "Yeah, that's crazy. You should probably take it to command," I was like, "Okay."
I mean, yeah. I think, most of the stuff you guys should be able to deal with, and the only intervene that I should have is a sergeant if strikes need to be dished. So it's kind of like empowering you guys essentially to handle the reins, and I deal with the more so of the, the strike and shit.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
But you guys are just as capable. Like I'm, Bison especially.
That's the point of the role. I mean,
What? I heard my name.
Stop looking at Amazon.
And you fucking just
Sorry.
fucking ignoring. It's fine.
I was
It's
looking at
fine,
Amazon.
Bison. I just told Flophouse.
These deals are only out till noon.
Wait, what? I'm out. Pause.
Oh.
Hold on. Oh fuck. Chat, what watch do we want? Oh my god. They got fucking watches on sale too from Seiko. Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
Call him
Damn.
again, Dan. Or
I'm offended.
Yeah, Dan.
I'm sorry.
Hello.
Hey Dan, would you be able to
Dan,
come down to the captain's office?
Oh god, this is the third fucking time we're the same stupid shit.
Double D.
Well,
I just want to patrol.
I
I've
understand.
explained this exact same story 3 times now.
I'm asking you to come down to the captain's office.
If he doesn't listen, you tell him I told him.
He's mad because he's got to explain it the same story 3 times. Wait till he
Oh,
finds
no, he's
out.
got no explaining to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably deserve to stand here right now.
Actually,
Wait
yeah,
till
no.
he finds
stand
out it's not
here.
us.
What's the reason for the strikes? Like, what's the official like wording on this? Do you guys have anything that you
Processing
specifically?
violation.
What is it?
Processing violation.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me get the
But
thing typed out.
Get his side first before you actually issue them. That way,
Yeah.
like, in case like he actually comes up with a thing and you're like, oh shit, okay.
Okay.
Where the fuck did
Oh.
Dan? He just popped
Oh.
that out of nowhere.
Hey.
Oh my God.
All right. So I'm sorry that we're doing this again. I need for fuck's sake. I need context as to what the fuck happened again. Because
I've told you the story 3 times now.
you've told it to me once, and we had
Okay, let me. Collectively, I've said the story to you three times now.
Okay. So can you?
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Okay. Did you ever figure out who the cadet was who was on scene, or who this
No.
person was? Okay. Did you figure out anyone else that was on scene? It was just
No.
the 3 of you?
Yes.
Okay. Dan, I got called down to talk about this too. And I'm gonna be honest. The consensus right now that has I guess come down is that I don't even really care who checked the warrant. The warrant was checked. The warrant was pushed. Someone pushed it. As far as I know, no one is holding who did it. But the bottom line is this, is that the reason why this guy got to walk was because the evidence was not in the report. But hear me out. Before you and I had our face-to-face conversation and I emailed you and we were talking, you told me that you knew that this guy shot. You knew there were casings on scene. You knew that you were there and present and that this guy killed someone. None of the photos were in the report. None of the evidence was in the report. And
that's not true.
Dan, I sent you what it looked like. Madison saw it too. Madison saw there was no PC in the report. We may have had the PC. What's that?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
We may have had the PC, but without photos of the scene or the GSR test, I had no idea what the hell was going on. But with an unticked warrant, we have no legal reason to hold this guy. I had to let him walk, and I am so fucking glad that I ended up getting those photos because I was able to let this guy come back. He could have just never come back, and that would have been the end of the day until he attacked next.
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, it would have been.
I still don't know why I'm here.
Okay, well, the issue
Because
here...
I've explained the story 3 times now.
Why was the evidence not in the report?
I don't know.
Why did you take the photos?
The only reason I had... Okay, the only reason I had extra photos is because when I'm on a scene with an officer I don't know, I take backup photos.
You take backup photos?
Yes.
Okay.
If I don't know the officers on scene, I always take extra photos.
As far as I know...
So when you asked me for photos, I provided you my backup photos because I was told by this other officer that he was handling everything.
But
he
you
found the bodies.
You can't name this other officer.
Damn, that sucks, dog.
Yeah, it does suck. We almost let a doctor
I
killer
don't
walk.
patrol in this shift. I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay. Here's the issue.
Do you know all the officers in every single shift?
I know shift 3 very well, and
Okay.
I'm aware as to I guess a good idea as to what happened on that scene. And the problem is that everyone is conflicting each other's statements. The only thing that I know is when I've asked everyone else for photos, the only person that was able to provide photos of anything on that scene was you.
Well, that must be good that I take backup photos then. Because when I was on scene, I asked the officer if he took evidence, and he said yes.
But when I talked to you up on the roof, everything that I asked you about just kind of got blown off. But you knew what happened on that scene when I emailed you earlier that day. So
Right, I provided you what you needed. So I don't know why I'm here still.
Okay. Well then I'll come down to, right? The issue that we're coming into is that right now the only thing that is in that report that was needed was any evidence that was provided, photos of the scene, so that we had the PC to charge this guy. We did not have any of the PC in the report. And the only person who, as far as I have been able to find, that has had photos of anything was you.
Yeah, like I said, it must be a good thing that I took backup photos.
Okay. Well,
because I believe Bison and Madison were in here when that other officer who was in here sat there and went, "Oh yeah, we did say all that." When I told him, "Hey, you got this, right?" and he's like, "Yeah, I definitely got this, man. I'll do all it."
Okay. Bison, Madison, do you have anything to say, I guess, on that in terms of whoever else was in here?
Dan, when we were asking about the casings and stuff earlier, you said you put those in the report, yeah?
Right. I went to STSO. I ran the casings. They came back to the gun, placed them in the report, and then I went to the hospital.
Yeah, none of those were in the report.
That sucks because I put them in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna come to brass tacks. Okay.
Listen, if you guys want to strike, I just want to go patrol, please.
Okay, that's fine. Right now, it's 15 strike points for a processing violation. If there's any questions or
Awesome.
concerns from anyone, obviously Sergeant and anyone else you need to speak to is there for your command.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He's pretty lucky I'm not a sergeant. I actually would have suspended him for saying something like that.
Yeah. Well, Sergeant.
Actually, would have suspended him for not taking this shit seriously.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm not the sergeant, and like I said, if I told him if he has any questions or concerns, he can go through his command for that, because it's really not up to me at the end of the day. But you know, the fact that all that was there and his only response is, "Damn, that sucks. Good thing I take backup photos." Do you know anyone that takes backup photos?
I don't think he was getting it that like nobody had pictures other than him, which just proves that he was actually trying to he was doing work on the scene.
Yeah,
yeah, like I don't take fucking backup photos unless I'm specifically with a cadet, and I know I can't trust them to do that. Like I think if you're on a scene, you should be competent to take photos, and if you're not, then that falls on you, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm not one to kind of overstep there, but the reality is that I was very thorough with everyone I spoke to. Brixton even said that Dan said that he promoted it to an incident. I don't know if that came up when you guys spoke to Brixton, but if at some point he was on scene photographing the scene, at the minimum, even his statement would have been somewhat of enough for me to do something with it, outside of nothing from him without those photos. Honestly, no statements from any officers would have made a difference. All the photos he provided was beyond the PC to charge this guy. And since he was the only one with the photos, it's hard to shift blame on anyone else, unfortunately. So I'm kind of at the point now where it's over, it's done with. It doesn't matter who checked that warrant. We're never going to know, but we can assume who it probably was.
Yeah. I mean, it's done and dusted now. It's dealt with. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Because it's a huge fucking issue. I mean, it shouldn't happen from the get-go. We all know the botch warrant shouldn't be pushed.
Do you have a command chat with just LSPD?
Yeah.
You should bring up how he reacted to this in there.
Okay. I'll note it down.
That was actually pretty fucking frustrating to hear that he was just like, all right, damn, that sucks, and then didn't take anything seriously.
Yeah, he wasn't very receptive.
Even after he was he's like, just give me the strikes. I just want to go patrol. Honestly, as soon as he said that, I would have suspended him. I straight up would have said to his face, well, since you don't want to take this seriously, I'm just going to go on and you just won't patrol.
Like I said, not my department, not my call to make, but I would say that's somewhat fair. I really wish this was treated somewhat with more care. Again, considering that I pretty much did this whole thing. So evidence doesn't go just missing.
I was about to say, even whenever somebody's typing in the report or whatever, and you save, evidence doesn't just disappear.
I've never heard of
report.
If it did, then I guess this is the first I'm hearing of it. I unfortunately don't buy it, considering the fact he was the only one with any evidence. This is also the first time he's told me that he processed the evidence. So that tells me that he photographed it, he collected it, and he went to the SDSO with it to process said evidence. So he didn't take backup photos. There's no way he took it. If someone else on that scene, bottom line, if someone else on that scene took photos and he was taking backup photos, then why was he the one to collect them and process the evidence in the first place? Right?
You know what, Flop? I have an idea.
What's up?
You're a detective. Go detect. Figure out what he's doing.
Oh, you think so?
That's up to Brian, to be honest. I don't see why not. If he's fucking lying or not.
Well, I mean, it's something to keep an eye on just in the field.
I mean, I'm gonna be here in the next few days. I'm gonna be auditing LSPD again. So.
Ooh.
Okay. Also, if Dan gives more attitude, let me know. I'll bring it up to Sweets. I'm still new in my spot, so I'm kind of hesitant in doing something. So if you guys have especially Bison, if you have a kind of a opinion on something, you want me to do something, just let me know.
I just think you
'cause
should
I was
bring it up
kinda
to like the
like,
rest of command in general, just so like they're not other departments, but like our command, just so they're aware of like his attitude with this whole thing and that it was kind of not
it was like he
receptive.
brushed it off, didn't want to deal with it, was like, okay, I'm gonna just take it and go. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, there was no receptiveness.
Over my time as like both like command before and like even now after the restructure, that he's kind of giving me that vibe where like if he knows he's in trouble and he won't be getting out of it, he just like gives up. He's like, okay, yeah, just let me go. Fuck it, I don't care. Which, granted, I did that shit in school when like obviously there was no getting through to the person that was arguing with me. I'd be like, all right, cool, yep, sure, yep, like to get them to shut the fuck up. But hindsight, that's pretty disrespectful. So
I mean, especially to Flop, right? Like, fucking, you're at least trying to explain to him, and he's just shrugging you off, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go do my job now. Like,
Yeah.
cool.
It definitely, I mean, it rubs me the wrong way, unfortunately. I won't be treating Danny any differently in the field, obviously.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's not, I don't know. I feel
why don't
like
you hate him?
because if I hated him and I had personal grudge on him in the field, it would affect my duties. In which case, I shouldn't be a cop.
Why are you the way that you are?
Because, God damn it.
Like, why do you?
Death Chan. Because, God damn it. I'm going to stand on
Get
this
off the-
fucking
get off
table
the
now.
desk.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It sounded like you slapped a fucking spring, not a desk.
I'm sorry. Someone's sleeping in the kitchen over there. So I don't want to be a dick.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What the fuck are you doing to people, man?
Don't worry
What the
about it.
hell?
It's fine. It's
Wait, what are you doing in the kitchen?
nothing. It
You
just
said somebody's sleeping in the kitchen.
yeah. I just don't want I don't want it to reverberate into the kitchen and wake them up.
Oh my god, again? This is the third one since we've been in Mission Row today.
Jesus. I don't know. I just I do wish that there was a little bit more like reasoning from him, because it did come off that he knew the whole scene via the email. And I'm not one to like forward an email, but if you want to see like the response in email form, I can do that for you if you'd like.
Nah.
Okay. I don't think
Kind
it's
of got the gist of
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
from this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, you explained it pretty well, so.
yeah. I mean, listen, I'm just following this through as he he requested.
Bob, how come you've never gone for command?
Do you want the truth? A lot of people I don't think view me as someone worthy of command, but I'm gonna be real. I've been
What?
I don't know. I don't try and view myself in the position for command. I just do the job, and honestly, a lot of people come to me for senior stuff, and I've been doing the legwork for a while now in Shift 3. When there wasn't any command in Shift 3, I was setting up meetings for people to talk and stuff. I never want to go out of my way and be like, hey, look at what I'm doing, right? It's just if people recognize me, cool. And if people, see that potential in me, cool. But if anything, I'm not looking to put my foot in the door and say, hey, you should consider me. I'd rather people see my ability and go from there. Plus, I didn't join the Rangers for, running the ranks up. I joined the Rangers because I enjoy, what we do in the Rangers. So if Tessa sees that potential in me, cool. But I'm not going to be the one to go to her and say, you should definitely consider me, I do appreciate it, though.
Wait, but like, why would you not express interest? There's a difference between like begging for promotion and expressing interest.
I have
Like,
expressed interest.
People think that I beg for a promotion, but in all reality, I know where my talents lay best. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I fully understand that.
Therefore, I sit there and I beg,
Nice.
and I tell them I'll suck dick if I have to.
Oh. Wait, this makes sense. Hold on. Listen to me.
What do
Hear
you
me
mean
out.
that makes sense?
Hear
Hang on
me
a
out.
minute.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
Sweets is a sergeant, and Bison is in the LSPD, and as is Sweets, right? Now hear me out. Let me
Okay.
cook.
Where are you going with this?
Sweets could be the one to recommend a promotion via command structure, right? Via chain of command. He's technically a rank above Bison. This kind of makes
Right.
sense. Hold on, Bison. Are you
What makes sense out of this?
Are you trying to get buddy with Sweets there? Are you trying to get close and personal with him so you can get a promotion?
I was buddy with Sweets before he was a sergeant, man.
But now that he is a sergeant, now he's a friend with a benefit.
What the fuck?
He's got a benefit.
I'm convinced that if I'm gonna be a sergeant, it's gonna be because I'm Bison, not because I suck Sweet's dick.
Fair enough.
that I hang out with Sweets.
That's fair. That's fair. But to answer your question, I have spoken to people. In fact, the reason why we originally, I think, got sergeants in shift 3 was because like a month and a half ago, I went to Shelby and a couple people, and I said, listen, I got to be blunt. I said, our rank structure in shift 3 right now is officer.
Fucked.
Yeah, officer, senior, assistant chief, chief of police. We had no middleman structure whatsoever. We had like 2 seniors who were active, and I think it was like me and Espinoz. And then from there, it was assistant chief, chief of police, and game warden when I needed like Tessa. So I pushed to say we need to like do something about this, and obviously that changed. And I told Shelby, I said, if people see the potential in me, I would be interested. But outside of that, I'm going to keep doing my thing and keep doing what, you know, is expected of seniors. And if people see that growth in me and see that potential, then I would gladly probably take the position. But again, that would come down to how Tessa views me, because it would be up to Tessa at the end of the day.
I think when you get a chance, you should, like, if you ever get a chance to talk to Tessa, because I know you guys is fucking shit's backwards, like your shifts. I think you should definitely be like, hey, you know, like express interest. I think you have that disappointed dad vibe.
I think I give that off quite often, and also when people hear me like frustrated, people don't expect it. As with
It's
you
funny.
today,
Well, I'm gonna be honest. It's funny.
it is kind of funny.
I think I take you less serious when you're angry. I'm gonna be real.
What the
Actually, one thing.
What the fuck,
What was the
Bison?
other smart remark Dan made other than just I want to go out and patrol? I have goldfish memory.
I just want to go out and patrol, and he said, I mentioned the evidence, and he said, damn, that sucks.
Oh yeah, that. Thank you.
And also, when I confronted him yesterday about it, he said, and about the evidence, he goes, wow, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, Dan, it is crazy. It is funny. Bass always eggs me on, and he's like, you know, there's always a position for sergeant. So he has egged on the idea, and I don't think Tess is on board with Bass's views, but I do think that Tessa probably knows at this point through my conversations with Shelby, the talks I've had with Bass and other people, that I'm sure she knows that.
Somebody should go check out the 311.
Which one?
Most recent.
Oh my god, what is his fucking warrant?
I went to go arrest him earlier, but there's like 7 of them surrounding him at the VU. So if they're turning him in, snag that ass.
Oh, it's active torture and kidnapping.
Oh. Brand.
I think they're out there in the lobby right now.
Open fired upon. Vehicle is out
We
on
can tag
Eastbourne
team if you
Way
want,
in
Flo.
Hawick.
Yeah, let's do
Look
it.
at that. It's time to go to bed. Good night.
Damn, that's
Thank you,
fucked.
Bison.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Bison.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck.
Ah.
Another day
But
in
at
the
least
life.
you got help now, and you're not left to deal with it on your own. This time.
Yeah, I mean, first time striking someone too.
Yeah. How does it feel? It's never a good thing. I hate doing.
Yeah, I hate doing it.
All right.
I'm here. Citizen's arrest turning this fucking criminal in. He has a warrant out for his arrest.
Oh my God.
Jamal.
Jamal, do you have a warrant for your arrest?
Apparently I do, yes.
Oh,
I'm here to
shit.
turn myself in.
Whoa.
I appreciate it. Well, I mean, honestly, the fact that you're turning yourself in, we're able to actually work with you a little bit, unlike if you were to run, you know what I mean? So we'll have some wiggle room
Yeah.
for you.
Wait, what is his warrant for?
What is it for?
We can't really disclose that. I mean, I can't tell
Is it the
anyone.
same thing, y'all? Come on.
It's really
'Cause
not a
that-
big deal. I'll be
I'm
honest
gonna
with you.
tell him anyway.
Okay, it's not okay. So because if it wasn't bad, I mean, if it was bad, we would have to run out of here. But if it's not bad, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
and take
no,
it.
it's not that bad.
Is it the same? Is it the same thing I got charged for? Active torture?
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's something even smaller.
Oh. Oh, well, he
Active
also tortured a
torture.
person with me, so give him active torture.
Oh my
chill
God.
out.
Damn, that's crazy. Because
Yeah.
it was for active
Yeah.
torture. That's wild. All
Oh,
right,
let's
let's go.
There you go.
Hey, free me.
Thank you.
I free him.
All right, Jamal. At this time, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney if you cannot afford one will be appointed by the state and cost available. Do you understand your rights?
Yeah.
All right, Jamal.
You
Yeah,
ain't fucking me, right? I'm not getting a big charge, right? You're not fucking me, right?
it's just the act of torture. I'm not lying to you about that.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
It's actually not that big of a charge. I'm actually surprised. Madison, did you see how much
It's not
time
a
he's gonna-
docket charge.
It's not a docket charge. It's actually like
active torture sounds fucking terrifying though, does it not?
It does, but your actual total time, when you hear how much time you're getting, how much time do you think you're getting? Hear that charge? How much time do you think that comes with that?
60.
60? Okay. It's less.
Oh.
30?
A little higher than that. I mean, you're kind of in the middle there.
35? 40?